everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Carolyn Show. I'm your host, Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson. Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful fathers out there, whether you are a biological father, a spiritual father, whether you father kids that's not your own, no matter what the circumstances are, if you are a father and you are providing and taking care of your home and your family, I want to say happy Father's Day to you. I'm coming to you live from San Diego, California, baby. You see the wonderful trees, the awesome sunshine, and I am here to share with you about how wonderful it is to be a father. I have a special guest that's going to be coming up on the show momentarily. So I want you to stick around, grab a friend, share this video out, let people know that, hey, the Dr. Carolyn Show special edition, the Father's Day show, is coming up live. And so guess what? You don't want to miss this. You want to stay for the entire show because I have some awesome interviews that I am going to be sharing with you today. So stay tuned. Do not go away. Stay connected with us because it is Father's Day and we are talking about the wonderful men today and how awesome they are, how wonderful they are, and you will get to meet a very special man that's a part of my life that you probably have never met before. So stay tuned. I will be right back with you. The highly anticipated book, The 10 Laws of Leadership, it's finally here. It is available in stores and online. So get your copies today and join the movement. Become a part of the buzz that is making a sound locally, internationally, and globally. You don't want to miss this. And so get your copy, become a part of the camaraderie, join the Dr. Carolyn Book Club, and let's take leadership of our lives. Let's live purposefully, lead authentically amidst this chaotic world that we are living in. This book will help you to streamline your life, your business, your ministry, your family. It doesn't matter if you're a mom, a dad, an entrepreneur, husband, or wife. You can use this book to shift, transform, and change your life and live it fully every single day. So get your copies. Don't delay. So earlier today, a wonderful moment to interview a priest of a Catholic church here in San California. It was a wonderful interview. I had a great time. I actually attended the service because my sorority sister, she is the psalmist or the opera lady that sings throughout the entire service. So we went to surprise her. We were there. The entire family was there. Dr. Carolyn Show was there because I'm always on spot, always on target, always ready to do an interview. And I wanted to know and understand the perspective of fatherhood from a man that is actually called father, because they call him Father Mel, and he's also a priest, and he's the one that leads the congregation. And he doesn't necessarily, because a part of the priesthood is you don't get married and they don't have biological children. So I needed to understand, and I wanted my viewers to get a perspective, a different perspective on fatherhood from a father perspective that fathers children, fathers a congregation, but don't necessarily have biological children. And so coming up, you will hear that interview, and so stay tuned. So hey everyone, happy Father's Day to those who are fathers, and even whether you're a biological father or you're a spiritual father, today is your day to celebrate. We're also honoring the greatest father ever. which is our Father, our Lord, and our Savior. We just thank God that He sent His Son to die for us, so that through Him and through His precious blood that we are saved. And I am here today visiting in San Diego, California, and we have a very special father here that is with us. He goes by Father Mel, and he is the priest for this wonderful church, St. Michael's Parish. And Father, I just wanted to get your perspective on fatherhood, and what do you believe fatherhood represents, especially from the Catholic faith?
Well, fatherhood, of course, you know, God our Father represents that ultimate essence of fatherhood, the father who loves,
right,
who takes care and not only provide, but to be one with his children, and who always looks out for the goodness of his children.
Right.
And so that's what fatherhood is.
That's the essence of fatherhood. And so you did a beautiful message today. You even gave a few jokes, which I laughed. I was like, those are very, very funny. And so as we close out this interview, so in the Catholic Church per se, you are a father of spiritually over many of the children that are here. And so, and what is that like? Because it's not necessarily a biological father, but it is spiritual, and that's who our spiritual father is, right? And so what is that like to have so many that you are the father over, and they're your children, and to be responsible in that sense for them from a father's perspective?
Well, it's just like well, I can recall my father.
Right.
My dad had fun with us, and he had also some headaches with us.
You know,
when we got naughty and
right,
and mischief, and so just like, you know, I have a lot of children, and I love all of them.
Right.
And but of course they are different in their journeys in life.
Right.
And so some are different personalities.
Right.
And they have challenges, but all of them are good, and
right,
I believe, because every person is created according to the image of God.
Yes,
so
we are.
There's goodness, there's innate goodness in each one of us. But sometimes, you know, sometimes some are you know, some they lost their path.
Yeah.
And so we need to bring them back.
Right.
Or
you gotta reel them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what fatherhood is all about.
And it's just precious, isn't it? And you're from the Philippines.
I am from the Philippines.
Yes, and I'm from Jamaica originally. Yeah. So I understood the mango joke you gave, and how that would fall down. And so, and life is like that, right? It's like a tree, like you said. You plant and it grows. There's someone planted the ministry and started it here, and now it's growing. And so now you're being the father over these children, and who knows, you know, as you grow and get higher in the, maybe you'll be the Pope. No, you're happy here in San Diego. I love it. Yeah, because that's a big responsibility. That's really big fatherhood. So thank you so much for doing this, and we just want to express to all the fathers that even though you may not have a biological child, once you're a man, you're still a father, and God has given you a seed, and you can help the homeless, the widow, the orphan. You can help others, because fatherhood is truly that. You are the provider, you're the head, and God is giving you a special blessing. And as you've heard from Father Mel, that you can still love those, even those who act unloving, you can still show love and forgiveness and mercy. So thank you, and thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Hey, this is Dr. Carolyn with the Dr. Carolyn Show. I'm so excited about what's in store. We are going on the road, you all. We are live, up close and in person. And the good thing is you'll get a chance to be a part of our live studio audience. So the Dr. Carolyn Show is on tour. We'll be traveling from city to city, state to state. And so go on drcarolynshow.com or our Facebook page at Dr. Carolyn Show, where you can see the dates and the times where we will be, because you need to be a part of what we are doing. Why? Because it is time to shift, transform, elevate your life and live it fully every every single day. It is time for a fresh new summer. And so come on and be a part of what we are doing. And you have a special moment to be able to get a book that I have just written, The 10 Laws of Leadership. And so you can get a copy of The 10 Laws of Leadership, where I will VIP sign it for you behind stage after the show. And so you don't want to miss this once in a lifetime opportunity to be up close and in person, and to be a part of the Dr. Carolyn Show as we premiere our new season in September. So come and be a part of us and be a part of this live historical event. The Dr. Carolyn Show Tour is here. Welcome back. So for those of you who are just joining us, I'm Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson with the Dr. Carolyn Show. And I am so excited about what today is. You see this grin on my face? I can't even get it off. And so today's a very special day. It is Father's Day. And I have already shared how wonderful and excited I am to have a father like my own, Mr. Linville Spence. The only thing I know about my father from birth is that he's a hard-working man, that he's an entrepreneur, that he is a go-getter, and he taught me entrepreneurship. He also taught me the value of education and how to read, and that's actually a oxymoron, because my father does not have an educational experience or even education beyond elementary school. But he said to me, growing up, they called me Gail, and he said, Gail, you get an education, because if you can read math, you can read science, you can read everything. And I spoke about my dad yesterday. I'm here in San Diego, California, by the way, and I spoke yesterday and shared with a group of folks where I was invited to be a speaker about my father and about how he taught me the value of education and leadership, because I'm here on the 10 Laws of Leadership book tour. And speaking of book tour, sitting next to me is the father of my lovely 3 children, Mr. Cavell A. Anderson. He also happens to be my husband. And tomorrow, the 18th of June, is a very special day, because he will become and is a best-selling author, and he's launching his first book ever that has been about, I don't know, 40 years in the making. So since he was 3, in essence. But it's been a long-awaited book talking about the fatherless father. And so welcome to the show, Mr. Anderson.
Great to be on the show.
It
Lovely,
is. Yeah.
beautiful Dr. Carolyn.
It's kind of weird, right? Because normally you're one of the executive producers.
Yes, and behind the camera.
Behind the camera, you never really see him up close and in front, but this is him. He's very handsome, very charming, makes me look as good as I am, and I compliment you to make you look as good as you are.
Me, build my status.
Build your status. And so we are here in San Diego, California. We're launching his book. We are a family of authors. We are a family of writers. Our kids are coming out with their books momentarily. And so the wonderful RileyPress.com publishing company is so awesome that they will line things up and help you to launch your book within your time frame, right? When it's more important and most important to you, the writer, the author. And so talk to us about what is it like to be a father who was never technically fathered by your biological father. So let the people know just some of the things that they can expect to find in this book, why they should get the book. And it's not just about, not having a father. It is, some people don't have a mother, or your father may be in your life but not present, because that's also a possibility, right? Sure. So I'll let you speak. Tell the people about what does this feel like. You can anticipate it when you taste and see that cover, and the metaphor of the cover, which we won't tell until tomorrow. Sure. But just tell the people about it. It's all yours.
Sure. So before I even talk about the book and the process to getting the book to where it is, being prepping ready now for the big launch, I want to take the time to just really give all accolades and just, as they would say in Jamaica, to big up my mom, who was a single mom who raised 3 of us. She was phenomenal. She did a great job with me, make sure that I was surrounded with great men and also women who provided the right guidance for my life to make me the person I am today. So, Mom, I love you. Thank you so much for your hard work, for the multiple jobs, for as Dr. Carolyn said, her dad would push and make sure that she was pursuing higher education and making sure that she knew how to read. And it was not an option for us not to go to school with moms. You know, it was like, okay, it was, the sky was the limit, and she made sure that we were going to go and get that education.
In fact, you all are educated, you and your two sisters.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. So as far as the book is concerned, you know, writing a book is such a process. It's creating something from scratch because it's about an individual's unique perspective or unique experience.
Right.
And so it was for me. It's a unique experience for me, but come to find out in the research on fatherlessness, there's so many millions of other children and other grown-ups who are fatherless, who are, whether it's through their parents who were lost in battle, being on a battlefield, fighting for this nation, or whether a father just never bothered to father the child after, you know, that child was born, or even, you know, from the time that they were separated from the mother of that child.
You talked about in your research, because you're a very research-driven person.
Yes.
In fact, that's a great quality about you. You try to make sure you have the facts can you remember to back it up? Can you remember approximately what percentage or how many, the figures? I know you're also engineer, so you know numbers very well, but what was the percentage? Do you know, or do you remember, or even a number? Like, is it 2 million? How many million people they
Actually,
believe?
much more than 2 million.
Okay.
And a lot of the statistics and the research, I gather quite a bit from researches that were done by third parties. So fathers.com has a lot of research information. And so in essence, the fatherlessness in this nation is so great that at the completion of some of the research that I looked at, they said if it were to be classified as an epidemic, fatherlessness would be an epidemic in
because
this
it's just
nation,
that great of a number.
Because it's so great, over 30 million plus.
Okay. So in essence, almost maybe a third of our country, if not more, right?
Yeah.
Probably
could
ran by single mothers.
Single mothers, kids who have their parents in the army, or who are either they're not present in the home, or they
consider that as one of the, because they're really not being raised by their fathers, but it's a sacrifice.
Right, exactly. Okay. It could be those scenarios of fatherlessness. Could be a large population of children are of their fathers in prison, or a parent in prison.
Okay.
And also, there are instances where the father is actually there, but not, in essence, present as a father in the child's life. So they are physically in the house, but has no true connection with that child or with those children. And so that child is seeking for affirmation, is seeking for the father's love, the father's attention, and never gets it from that father who is present right there in the home.
Closing for this particular segment, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. This is Kevin A. Anderson Sr. For those of you who are just joining us, he's my husband, the father of 3 lovely kids. We're talking today about fathers and how wonderful it is. And he's written a book about the Fatherless Father, which launches tomorrow. So join us live again to be able to download your copy, your electronic copy of this wonderful book, and help him to become #1 bestseller. We just know he is already, and we're speaking that into being. It was a pleasure having you on the show. I will change my interview methods the next time I do a show with my husband, because it's an eternity show. All right, so we thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for joining us. We do have one more segment coming up, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Dr. Carolyn Show. For those of you who are just joining us, I am live in San Diego, California, and we're doing a special edition show today because it's Father's Day. And as you've heard, we're excited about what today is. We're excited about Cavell's new book coming out tomorrow, The Fatherless Father, because for 36 to 38 years, he didn't know his biological father, but now he does, because fatherhood is such a wonderful, amazing thing. I can't relate to not having a father in my life because he still is in my life and he's always been in my life, but there are millions. As Mr. Anderson said, there's over 30 million people in the United States alone who are fatherless in some capacity. But joining us today, we have a wonderful father, a great man who I adore and is like a father figure to me, and he is a biological father himself to two wonderful kids, a son and a daughter. And so we have with us Mr. Al Baytop from San Diego, California. Thank you so much for having me here and for being on the show. How are you?
Thank you, Carolyn. Very well. This is a great day.
Yes, it's a wonderful day. So tell me what it is like, or tell the folks, what is it like being a father?
Being a father is wonderful. It's exciting. It's also a challenge, so I won't eliminate that. But it's a great feeling to know that you are affecting young people's lives, leading them hopefully in the right direction, and assisting them in making their wonderful decisions that will be with them for lifetime.
Right, right. So in the Black community, there is a high statistics of fatherless homes, and I think it's more so prevalent in the Black community than it is in, you know, the Caucasian or even Hispanic homes. And you have your biological father that you grew up with, correct? And your mom, and your kids were so blessed that they also have a father that they were able to be a part of, and still are. They still come to dad. One was here yesterday. And so being a father is also like a mentor, right? Now that your kids are older and they're living their own lives, what do you still offer to them as that father? What is it that you still are doing in their lives that's prevalent? Because fatherhood never ends, right?
Correct.
So what is a couple things that you can say that at this age, now that the kids are out of the home, because the Bible says train up the child in the way they will go and they will not depart, right? And so they have done that. They have been trained. They're living their lives and building their families and their legacies. What is it like now with being a father with not the kids in the home, but you're still a father?
Well, it's still an opportunity to be a great mentor. They often call, even if it's a decision that they feel fairly comfortable making, it's an opportunity for me as their father to be a sounding block. So a lot of times they will call and say, this is what we're thinking about. Dad, we'd like your opinion. Or they may equate it with something that has happened in the past, where they're looking back and saying, Dad, you handled this particular situation this way. What do you think we should do now? So it's a great opportunity to still be a mentor, to be a sounding block for them.
Yes, yes. And this is so awesome that you even said that, because I've done that my own self, you know, just kind of bouncing things off my parents to say, what do you think about this? Even though there's quite a difference in generation, because my mom had me like older in her, you know, like in her 20s. These folks nowadays are having kids so early. It's like your sisters and brothers. And so as we come to a close, one final word that you just want to share with our viewing audience about anything, about fatherhood, about what today is, how it made you feel, just any one nugget you can leave with them as we come to a close.
Well, today was a great opportunity to not only be a father, as Carolyn has said, for my family. I felt that it was a great opportunity to share that fatherhood with her children as well. My wife, Dawn, and I, we extended that even further and called in our priest friend from Nigeria, who we celebrate as a father, and he joined us for lunch, and you may have heard from him earlier, or you'll hear from him later. But I think those are the key things that I look at in terms of being a father, to extend it out. It's an opportunity to reach out and be with the community. And I do a lot of that with other youth through the Boys to Men's program and through the Pro Kids golf program, extending that mentorship and fathership to those boys as well.
And that he does very well. And you're also part of a wonderful fraternity that also help to nurture men in general. And so you're actually a father of fathers, because there's other men in your circle who are fathers who also look to you as that father figure, just to help them, you know, that brotherhood. And so you've heard from this wonderful, great father, and he is indeed a wonderful father to us. My kids completely adore him. They were like, he makes the best breakfast. So he will always be known for that. And that's what fatherhood is about. In my family, my husband makes the breakfasts as well. I do the dinners, but he's always the breakfast guy, so they know not to come to me for breakfast. And so fatherhood is a wonderful thing, a wonderful, amazing thing. And so for those of you who may be behind prison bars who are watching this, my heart, my soul sympathize and empathizes with you, because you're not able to father your children. You're doing it from a distance, but you're not present. And so we hope and pray that you'll be forgiven and, you know, not be in prison for the rest of your life and be released out. And even if you're not in physical prison, but you feel like you're a prisoner in your own home, or you're just lost, not understanding your true purpose, I would say find that center. Pray and ask, what is it that you were created to be and to do? Because someone is always watching you. Even if you don't father physical, biological kids, you can go to girls' homes, you can go to boys' homes, you can go to the homeless shelters, you can find someone to be a mentor, big brothers, big sisters. There's so many of these organizations that you can help to find. And just like Mr. Baytop here, how he just welcomed us into his space and into his family, you can do the same. You can help someone, and because once the law of reciprocity is, if you give, you are bound to receive. It may not come back directly from that person, but God always sends a blessing whenever you need it. And so thank you so much.
Thank you for
being on the show. Thanks to all of our guests, my husband, Father Al, Father Mel. I'm calling you Father Al. Well, you are Father Al.
Father Al,
Father Cavell, and Father Mel, who did such a wonderful job today at service when we went to visit, and also his beautiful wife. She's the psalmist and the one that sings and marinates the folks. And so thank you so much for being on the Dr. Carolyn Show. Thank you for continuously joining us week after week, day after day. This show would not be possible without you. So share this out, tweet, hashtag, do all the wonderful things that you continue to do for this. And happy Father's Day to those who are fathers, or maybe your spouse is with child. Happy Father's Day to you. Have a great evening until we meet again. This is Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson, and I am the Dr. Carolyn Anderson Show. Thank you.